Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fantasy NBA Today, a Sports Ethos presentation brought to you by our great partners at FanDuel. Now, y'all didn't catch me just saying things. My name is Aaron Bruski, and with me is the great Steve, Dr. A. Alexander, and we're going to get you guys ready for a massive 12-game Friday slate, like the old school days of a Friday night slate. I remember when I asked you, Doc, we'll bring it in the show here right now. I remember when I first emailed into to y'all at Roto World, and I said, I want to work with you. And you're like, I was like, I like to work Friday nights. And you laughed at me. You're like, no, son, you don't get to work a 12-game Friday night. I think I'll handle that. I had no idea what I was in for at all. But how you doing, Doc?
Well, eventually I think you started working Friday nights, and the Friday night in the NBA back then, especially, and tonight is no joke. Like, so many games, so many blurbs, so much news. It's wild. So, yeah, the good old days, man.
Yeah, and then we got to the point where we could cover one of those on our own. Or you did it forever. I got to the point where I could cover those on my own. And it's about as exciting of a thing as you could do. If you're into fantasy sports and you like blurbing or you like fantasy sports, you're going to love blurbing, because it is just like, how fast can you crank out analysis? And then you got a bunch of people, if you write one thing either in their mind wrong, or you write something wrong, or whatever you do, you're going to hear about it from a billion people, it feels like. And so it's a nice little pressure-packed situation. Let's get into the show. Today, we're going to start with the top streamers. Then we'll get to the what to watch for segment. We got a cool new segment for the end of the show. Great job, Andre, on the idea here. I'm going to call it how you rank them. And, so many times, especially if you dominate your fantasy league and you're always looking at really, really good players, and you kind of always have to drop a really, really good player to get the next best thing, how you rank them will totally help it out. Welcome to the new listeners. And if you are watching with us on Twitter here, just a heads up, not all the episodes stream here. So if you want to make sure that you never miss one, hop on over to YouTube and subscribe to the Sports Ethos channel. That's youtube.com/Sports Ethos. Quickly, some news updates since we were on air earlier. Evan Mobley, questionable for tonight's game. He's got an illness. Luke Cornett is out. Yusuf Nurkic, questionable with a rib injury. So he missed the front end of the back-to-back last night, and now questionable for tonight's game. So all that Kyle Filipowski talk is nice and active. Jakob Poeltl available, so I'm not sure if that takes us off of Sandro Mamukelashvili. Yeah. Doc, are you off Sandro?
I mean, that makes it tricky. I mean, you have so many options tonight. I think you want to go with the more sure things you can find, and that news turns him into a bit of a question mark.
LeBron James now doubtful tonight. Luka Doncic remains out. We covered that in the last show. Duncan Robinson present at Shoot-Around Friday. So that will just be more relevant to the team as a whole in Detroit. And then as far as my guy Dennis Jenkins goes, we've got about another week where I'm just sort of watching and seeing how things go. And yes, I play in some deeper leagues. And yes, I'm always trying to get ahead of the action. It's easy to sit here and tell you all what happens after it happens. To try to do it when it doesn't look good, that's the hard stuff. LaMelo Ball, probable. Brandon Miller, Ryan Kalkbrenner, Trey Mann, questionable for tonight's action. So that's kind of interesting. Kalkbrenner questionable. I thought he was going to be out, but that'll probably talk about at some point in time. I don't think we covered Moussa Diabate. Actually, I want to talk about that right now. Moussa Diabate is an interesting play for tonight. I don't think this is two ships passing in the night where Diabate is suddenly better than Ryan Kalkbrenner in fantasy leagues, but he's had a nice late round value, and he's possibly didn't have a good game in the last one either, but he's possibly going to carry on at least with that late round value going forward. Colin Sexton out in this game. So interesting stuff for the Toronto-Charlotte matchup. We got Spencer Jones is questionable after leaving early with a knee injury in the last game. So that's fun. Want to see if Spencer Jones can do it again. Kristaps Porzingis and Jalen Johnson questionable. The Jalen Johnson calf injury is certainly something we're all watching quite a bit, considering he's been about a top 5 fantasy guy for a little bit here. Donovan Clingan, Rob Williams, Chris Murray questionable. Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen, Sam Merrill out. Doc, want to take a pit stop? I just did a lot of talking. Anything?
Well, I'm glad that Jalen Johnson is questionable and not already ruled out. Like that's a good sign. It feels more like a day-to-day thing than a long-term injury. So that makes me sort of happy. Maybe he'll play tonight.
Well, and I think brought it up in yesterday's show. I can't remember days. That this was more of a contusion. I thought he had it bumped into, not so much the took a wrong step or the cutting kinds of calf stuff that we're seeing. And a quick word on the calf stuff. I think what we're seeing here is not maybe like an explosion of calf injuries, but more an awareness from PT and team professionals that you give these things time. And so now they're popping up on the radar. I don't know if they're happening more or if we're just hearing about them more. We'll continue to watch that as the year goes on, because a big trend in the NBA today from an injury standpoint. OG Anunoby ruled out, so we don't get the return today. That gives you guys more ramp to sell high on Mikal Bridges and to sell high on who's my other dude? Josh Hart. I know the other day you said that you would probably roll with Mikal Bridges, and that's a fine thing to say. He's had a top 7/14 season so far. I'm going to try to get some of the value out of that before Anunoby gets back in here. Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, Zach Collins questionable. Trey Jones, Jalen Smith, and Isaac Okoro are doubtful. So it looks like Ayo is going to have a nice little ramp here. Again, Pat Williams probable. Not that anybody cares. John Morant out. PJ Washington and Danny Gafford are questionable. We'll be keeping an eye on Gafford all season long. Is that intentional, Andre? Is this intentional? Aylin Brown? That would be true in past seasons if you subtract the J from Jaylen Brown. But Jaylen Brown, illness off the injury report for Friday. Tyler Hero. This one's interesting. Tyler Hero downgraded to doubtful with a toe injury. Norm Powell cleared to play in this game. So your guy, Norm, back into the green, maybe. Tyler Hero out. That's an interesting little dynamic. I don't know, Doc. If Norm Powell goes off, are you going to try to sell him after this game?
I'm probably too lazy to do that, but yes, you should.
Okay, I got some updates that
because
came in as well.
Yeah, if Hero's out, Norm Powell obviously is going to do more. Davion Mitchell is going to do more. Andrew Wiggins, Jaime Jaquez, all those guys get a boost because of that. Khalil Ware even, because Tyler Hero has the ball in his hands so much.
Sure. Yeah, he's been a first-round guy since getting back, too. We got Brandon Miller upgraded to probable, so that's fun. We also got OG Anunoby questionable. So get those offers going a little bit quicker, guys. I don't know how you all want to play that, but I would definitely be trying to sell Mikal Bridges while it looks like he's unstoppable. And I think I would sell him for anything inside the top 30 and inside the top 40. I would even be listening, even though that might be a little bit of a question mark for some of y'all out there. Paolo Banchero is going to make his return. This is a big news day today. Paolo Banchero will make his return tonight at home against the Heat. He missed 10 games. He's averaged a 22.9 rebound, 4 assist line in the 12 games he's played this season. Magic were 7-3 without him. Man, this really sets up for Paolo to take a lot of heat. He's been taking heat, and I've been on that train. I think that he's got to learn how to integrate these other basketball players. He's a good basketball player, and I think he's understanding of the game. It's just I think he's so dominant that he hasn't really crossed this threshold yet. But when he returns, are you moving on from Anthony Black? You waiting a game? How you handling that?
I'll probably wait a week. But once Banchero's all the way back, it's hard to see Black doing what he's been doing. I've been enjoying the Anthony Black run. A couple things come to mind, like next year when we're drafting Paolo Banchero, are we going to be talking about him like we talk about Jalen Johnson? Like, do you trust this guy not to get hurt? Because a ton of missed time with injuries last year, a ton so far this year. Makes me a little nervous about him. But I've got him on a couple injured lists. So when we're done here today, I've got work to do. I gotta go make some ad drops and get Paulo active.
Desmond didn't have Desmond Bain, that is, didn't have a very big game in his last one, but before then he was really rocking and rolling. I would be tempted to tell folks to sell high with the way he was rolling. Now after the slow game and this news, I don't know that the market will be there. And I also generally like Desmond Bain. I like Desmond Bain as a top 40 guy with Paolo Banchero, with some potential to go above and beyond that. His fantasy game is just too nice. When he gets going, he might go 10 for 10 from the foul line and just get you a win in that category that week, no matter what, and or in a roto setting, just completely fly up the ranks. So I'm going to hang on to Desmond Bain there. We also have some news. Alperen Şengün downgraded to questionable for Friday against Phoenix with an illness. So just your garden variety December stuff. Joel Embiid ruled out. No surprise there. Not much to cover that we haven't already covered in our last show. Go check that out if you need to hear about it. And I think that is it on the news. All right, Doc, let's talk. Who are you streaming tonight?
A lot of news, dude.
I know, man. I don't know how we did it.
Let me get this tweet out. All right.
You sound like Ted from the movie Ted, right when he crashes his car. Let me get this tweet out.
Yeah, I'm about to crash a car. I don't like the order that I have my streamers listed in, but I'm going to stick with that order so as not to screw up the show. Jordan Goodwin, I think, is worth a look. I don't think he's a lock to have a huge night. So on such a busy night with so many games, I don't know if I'm feeling all that confident about locking Jordan Goodwin in, but no Devin Booker. And obviously Colin Gillespie is the guy I think you want the most, but Goodwin is due to have a good game at some point. And I'm also curious to see what Royce O'Neal does tonight assist-wise, because he had 11 in the game when Devin Booker got hurt. So some Phoenix stuff to think about.
Phoenix is the gift that keeps on giving, man. I'm a Phoenix Suns fan. I cannot believe it. But Goodwin has this knack for being good in fantasy leagues, and on the season, kind of just outside the top 150, and he does that in 20 minutes. So he can reach up and get you a line, and we've been messing with Jordan Goodwin for quite a while here. Interesting stuff on a busy night. I will shout out Miles McBride. If OG Anunoby comes back, I'm kind of neutral. Like, it feels like McBride's been getting good numbers, but not like difference-making numbers with all of the injuries in New York. And now against a Utah team on a back-to-back, I do think this is a good setup for on a busy 12-game night. I'm not sure anybody's going to even do this, but like Jordan Clarkson, if he had a big game, wouldn't be surprising to see the reserves get theirs against a bad Utah team. That's not as bad as people think. They got 7 wins this season. Doc, who's your next streamer of the night?
The guy that we just can't quit, Jalen Tyson, man. At this point, he should be rostered everywhere. We talk about him every day. We keep coming back to him. And coming off a monster line, what did he have? 27 and 11, I think.
6 threes or something.
Something nice. That was the game before. 27, 11, 4 assists, 4 threes. And then his last game, Wednesday, he was 14.7 boards, 2 assists, and 1 3. So a little down.
It was a down night for him.
Yeah,
it was a good down night.
Game. Yeah. And so I look for him to bounce back a little bit tonight. And man, as long as Jared
always
Allen
trust somebody with
out.
2 first names.
Yes,
if it's Jalen and Tyson. Wink, wink, Doc. Jarris Walker is my next streamer of the night. On a busy night, I'm looking for some pop. And I don't think Chicago is just like, I don't know. I don't want to say that they're just going to roll over. In fact, if anything, they need to win games. Jarris Walker, inconsistent since the point guards have returned. So it's not like Jarris Walker had this crazy regression that maybe theoretically he could have had if he bounced back from sub 30% shooting for a quarter of a season. It didn't happen. It hasn't happened so far, but maybe it will happen tonight. And I want to see some pop on a night like this out of a streamer. So he's a guy that can reach up and get you 17, 18 points with, say, 3, 4, 5 cash counters on a good night. We need to see a good night for that to happen. And then Jay Huff, I don't know if he got dropped. It's very possible he got dropped after the last stinker. If he's available, he's kind of a season-long value at this point. But as with anybody in Indy, the value gets questioned really, really quick if things start to go downhill. It went downhill bad for Jay Huff in the last one. So at minimum, I'll be watching him. If he's available, I would definitely stream him on a night like this. Doc, who else you got? Ooh, I like the name on this list. Who do you got?
Well, whoever I just pulled up their game log, which I thought was Ryan Nemhard's, it is not, because these numbers are awful.
There's not Ryan a third Nemhard. There's not a third Nemhard.
Yeah, I don't think there is either. Oh, here we go. That wasn't his. Oh, there is a third Nemhard, bro.
There's a third?
I think so. There's an RJ.
Is this the RJ, the big RJ mystery we were having earlier before the show has been solved?
Yes.
RJ Nemhard. You heard it here first, folks. RJ Nemhard, everybody. Pickup of the night. No, we're looking at Nemby, Ryan Nemhard. He of the bazillion assists and the several points and the solid rebounds for a guy that's whatever his size is. What's Nemby's height? Nemby is what, like say 5'11", 6'1"?
I don't know, but I've really screwed everything up here. I'm trying to get back. Well, why don't you talk about Nemhard for a second, Brew?
Nemhard has been crushing it, and what we're going to see about Nemhard tonight is, can he do it against an Oklahoma City squad that is just known for destroying box scores? It's going to be fascinating stuff if he goes off, because he's been going off, and it'll be the last game of the night even. And what's also interesting about tonight's action is all these games start between 4 and 5 Pacific time tonight, except for this game with Nemby, trademark. This is he's not going to get you many defensive stats, and similarly to Danny Wolf, he's got to get a lot of popcorn stats, and he's got to get some consistency in his role. But it does feel like he's taken Brandon Williams and kind of just put him into the background, and we don't even think about Brandon Williams anymore because Nemby is playing so well. My theory is this: if he has a good game tonight, I think he's going to be a late round value the rest of the way, and at least until the next stage of Kyrie comes back, which we're not even going to think about at this point in time.
So I figured it out. Figured out what my problem is.
Is there a fourth Nemhard?
No, but ESPN has linked RJ Nemhard as Ryan Nemhard, and when you pull up RJ Nemhard's game log, it's all zeros and trash. And Ryan Nemhard has pretty much been balling, so I don't really know what is going on there. But I've got the right Nemhard pulled up finally. We should have known something was amiss when I called him RJ earlier today. But, he had 15 points, 13 assists in his last game. He had 28 points, 10 assists in the game before that. And it looks to me like they're suddenly getting ready to give him the keys to the offense. And that hurts Brandon Williams. It hurts D'Angelo Russell. He's been good enough in these 2 December games that I want to see. I'm willing to throw him out there again tonight, see if he can keep it going.
Yeah, and I'm realizing that I was probably going to promote Moussa Diabate, but I've already talked about him, and we've already touched base on Sandro Mamukelashvili. Nah, I butchered that. God, I'm terrible at this. But I will shout out Jamal Shed. Jamal Shed, if in a build that requires assists and steals, this guy's been doing this consistently for the last couple of weeks. If you are aiming for steals and assists to try to bolster your weekend play, I am all about it. He is good. He's been consistent in these 2 departments. He doesn't turn the ball over. That's another a point of pride here. And I would say Jamal Shed on a busy night. I'm always looking for some deeper streamers for y'all, especially for you deep league GMs out there. So as you guys sort through all of the ads and drops that we were discussing here in these segments, while you're doing that, if you want to just hit the like button wherever you're watching this will both help keep us in your algorithm, also help the show out, and we appreciate that, and we appreciate you guys. Doc, what are you watching tonight?
This goes right, perfect timing. The Lakers at Boston. Both of these teams are pretty good. They have similar records. It should be a good game, but no Luka, no LeBron, obviously swings the favor to Boston. Boston is -8, which means the Lakers are +8 at FanDuel at -108. The money line is +245. So if you take the Lakers straight up to win the game, that pays off pretty nicely. Speaking of money lines, we talked yesterday about the game line and the money line for the New Orleans Hornets. And the Hornets actually hung in there and they covered the spread. They did not win the game. So if you bet both the money line and the spread, you probably broke even or somewhere thereabouts. But I like the Lakers tonight, even though they don't have LeBron and Luka. It should be a monster game for Austin Reeves. And then you've got Rui Hachimura and Jake LaRavia both getting a big boost with those two guys out of here. I could also see Dalton Connect getting loose. I predicted that last night as well, and he had like 2 points. But it could be a Dalton Connect. It could be a Dalton Connect night as well.
Hey, there's space for that to happen. So interesting stuff on the over-under circuit. And from a betting standpoint, usually Toronto throws things off because of the travel and the border and all the different things. But it's a short flight over to Boston. And I love the way the injured star theory sets up for the Lakers. There aren't two more public players than Luka and LeBron, and they're going to be gone. And Boston just walloped, who was it last night? They walloped the Wizards. So they got their win. They split the 2-game action, and the NBA is so much about players letting up, and it's almost there's motivation involved, but it's still really hard to play hard, and to do it in 2 straight games and to cover this big number if you're Boston. So I like Los Angeles +8 over at the old FanDuel. I'll be watching Paolo, of course, and if OG returns, I'll be just kind of dialed into all of that. I don't know if there's another angle here. I think I would just probably reinforce at least Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart as a sell high guy, if you could get a top 50 player in return, top 60 maybe, I would be in on it. After that, I want to just kind of ride this out and see if Josh Hart will maintain top 75 value the rest of the way. I do think selling Mikal Bridges at top 30 and inside the top 30 is kind of almost an insta yes for me. You might expand that to top 35, top 40 if you're in an 8-cat league where his value isn't quite as absurd. Right now he's, I believe, number 7 in 9-cat. And so he does all the things and doesn't turn the ball over. So he's just kind of perfect in that regard. So I will be watching that. Doc, what else will you be watching here tonight?
San Antonio at Cleveland. Brew, which pick a spur is going to show up tonight? I think the 3 in question, the Burrito Brothers, as they're fondly known around here. Julian Champagny, Harry Barnes, and who's the third Burrito brother, Brew?
Champagny, Barnes, and Keldon. Since you guys forced me into Keldon Johnson when I had clearly selected Derek Harper. That's not fair. That's not fair.
Derek Harper, is he in the mix? Is Devin Vassell a Burrito brother? Is he too good?
Yeah, it was funny. When I said Derek, I was like, that's not his name. It's Dylan. And then you bought it. You bought it.
No, I was like, that's not right. I know Derek's not right, but if that's what he's going with, I'm going with it too because I'm
an old soul. Yeah, I'm getting up there. No, you guys took Dylan Harper off the board for me, and that was not fair. And tonight, I would say he's probably the leader in. Yeah, if I had Dylan Harper that night, I would have had 15, 5, and 5. I would have won the burrito. Now I got to call up some Mexican joint in Dalanega or Dalagana and ask them if they will send a burrito your way, which I almost did yesterday, and I'll probably try to do it today. But you got to let me know when you're hungry. I would take tonight. I would say it is a Keldon Johnson night. It's a Keldon Johnson night.
Mm-hmm.
I will be watching that game now because of the burrito thing, but also I'm going to be watching the Memphis situation because Zach Edey has been just crushing things, and Santi Aldama has been crushing things, and Cam Spencer's been inside the top 150. In fact, all of them, Cedric Coward, Vince Williams, more or less inside the top 150 over the last 3 weeks. So Memphis winning basketball games, you know who is coming back soon. And the only guy that's kind of relevant in their mix that's not inside the top 150 over the last 3 weeks is Jaren Jackson Jr. So this is like a bunch of different things all in one. And I want to know kind of what happens tonight so we can position ourselves to either sell high, buy, I wouldn't say buy low, but like, what are we getting out of the various assets? And if Zach Edey goes off again tonight, I think what you're going to want to do is sell high, because I think John Morant's going to want to take that paint and make it his. And Zach Edey's been living in it and just crushing top 25 fantasy value. And if he has a stinker tonight, I probably are going to hang on because I think people won't be buying into Zach Edey at that point. But if he has a big one and I have Zach Edey, I'm going to want to sell so I can get the value while the value is good and get out of a little bit of injury risk as well. They get a Los Angeles Clippers team fresh off of the dead Chris Paul bounce, which is its own little sideshow. Doc, what else are you watching for tonight?
For the record, my burrito brother of the evening is Harry Barnes. I think Harry B is going to go off in this game.
All right. So wait, I'm on Keldon again.
The Cleveland side again. No, Jared Allen. So that makes Jalen Tyson look fantastic. I think Donovan Mitchell is probably going to go off because he usually does. And Evan Mobley. We're still kind of waiting for the Evan Mobley explosion, right?
Well, he hit his free throws last week, and that was my signal for you guys to buy low out there. But he's questionable for this game tonight. Is that right? Let me get the latest and greatest on him as we're talking here. And then I will be watching all the Nemby stuff. I can't wait to see if he can take on the Oklahoma City Thunder as described. We got all of our classic Detroit. What are they going to do? Philly, the center position, Milwaukee, post Giannis, Utah, Kyle Filipowski, Indiana, Jay Huff, and can they be good and consistent there? And then Phoenix, the Colin Gillespie show. But let's get to the segment that I think is going to rock the planet. How do you rank these players for the rest of the season? So we've got a list of names that are kind of people that we talk about a lot, the folks that you guys kind of want to know about. So I'll say names. You guys just kind of hang in there. I know it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 names. And we will sort this out on the fly. Doc will bitch and moan. That's been established before the show even started. We got Kyle Filipowski, Adem Bona, Andre Drummond, Noah Clowney, Jay Huff, Bobby Portis, Danny Wolf, and John Collins. So, Doc, think it through, talk it over internally.
No, I've got it.
Oh, you got it?
I've got my top 5 of that.
All right.
Group.
Why don't you put your let's go from top to bottom. Why don't you go your top ranked guy and we will go there.
I don't really have them in an order.
See, here comes.
I'm not sure I can order them.
Classic right. Doc.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to say Tumani Kamara.
He's not even on the list.
What?
Hey, he's not even. He's on the second list. This is the theoretic.
Where's the first list?
The first list, as read, Kyle Filipowski, Adem Bona, Andre Drummond, Noah Clowney, Jay Huff, Bobby Portis, Daniel Wolf, and John Collins. Okay.
Well, I'm out. I'm out, bro.
All right. I will
My
pick up
first list was totally different than that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right.
Okay. So
I'm going to go
so
first.
Bobby Portis, Portis, Wolf, Drummond, right? That's the group.
We got, we got Kyle Filipowski, Adem Bona, Andre Drummond, Noah Clowney, Jay Huff.
I've got that.
Oh, sweet. All right.
That was my third list for some reason. I'm ranking those. You my first guy?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Portis.
Look at you. Portis. Wow. You like Bobby Portis, huh? Bobby Portis over Kyle Filipowski, over Andre Drummond, over Noah Clowney.
Yeah.
All right. All right. And why would you like a Bobby Portis at the top of that list?
Because of the Giannis mess and the pending trade that is about to happen. And we've seen Bobby Portis do some big stuff in the past, in second halves of the past. And I just feel like he hasn't been the best player on this list thus far, but we're talking about the future. I think he's got the best chance to go off.
This is a really interesting list because you got a couple guys here who've been consistent, now hurt, and now question marks with the recent bad performances. And I will just let the cat out of the bag. I got Andre Drummond on the top of this list. And I might like I might like one other player better. Just as like, if I had to have one. But Andre Drummond is locked into the Joel Embiid is playing minutes. So any game that Joel Embiid is not playing, it's Andre Drummond's minutes to lose. Andre Drummond in those minutes, top 75 value. But I get it with Portis. Like Portis has had in the past I want to say 3 seasons ago, he finished inside the top 50 with games played. No, that was an 82 game season, I believe. And so he's shown you that he can stay on the floor. He can just kind of crank his way with his 14-8 and whatever the hell else he's going to get for you. And maybe he took the first part of the season off or got in shape, and maybe he's going to be good now. Post Giannis stuff, super interesting there. All right, so if you've got Portis 1, I will say right off the top that I'll put Portis 3 on my list. So after Bobby Portis, who would be your number 2?
I've got Jay Huff 2, and I've got Andre Drummond 3.
All right. All right. So what has you feeling good about Jay Huff following the 3-point, and I believe he had a 3 and 2 blocks, a quiet Jay Huff night the other night?
It was a quiet Jay Huff night, but he's been good lately. He's been getting minutes. He's been starting. I feel like the crowd, the Indy fan base is into Jay Huff. And I feel like there's a bit of Jay Huff fever going on in Indiana, sort of like the same illness you had last year, Brew, the Jay Huff fever.
I hope they give like caps that you can wear with a bald spot in the back for Jay Huff night. You know, and Jay Huff going on in Indiana.
His skill set's so fun for fantasy. He's not a great rebounder, but he gets rebounds, hits threes, blocks shots. I like it. I'm feeling it.
As a fellow balding man, I'm pro Jay Huff and pro Jay Huff bald spot night in Indiana. You always got to respect somebody who shows their baldness off and doesn't hide behind a cap. I like Jay Huff number 4. I like Jay Huff number 4 because I like Noah Clowney number 3 in this list. And I like Kyle Filipowski number 2. And I like Kyle Filipowski number 2 because I think we're starting to see Yusuf Nurkic fall apart a little bit. And I've just been questioning how long he and Kevin Love can keep it going there. And if it becomes the case that those two guys kind of exit stage left, and then you don't get any impact from George Niang, like that's got to happen too. And he's a known something or other. He's a known instigator. He gets in there and he messes up things, and he takes a bunch of minutes, and he had like 2 good weeks in Atlanta where I was a fan. And other than that, he's just been messing things up in fantasy leagues. If Yang stays on the sidelines, Kyle Filipowski will have an entirely wide open shot at top 75 value. And we've seen Kyle Filipowski roll top 50 and even had more hype on him kind of beyond that after the summer league and everything looking really, really good. He had 30-point games at the end of last season. So Kyle Filipowski, my number 2. And what do you think about Clowney, Doc? Where's Clowney for you on your list?
I have Drummond at 3. I have Clowney at 4. I have Filipowski at 5.
Nice. Clowney's been balling lately.
I was really torn. I was really torn between Clowney and Derek Queen and Filipowski. Like those three, I had to leave one of them out. I left out Derek Queen. I almost went Queen and Clowney and left Filipowski off the list. It's just tough. It's a tough call.
So you got Clowney over Filipowski. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what's the thinking there? I mean, this is a very, very, like, I think if you're in a 12-team league, and especially if you're playing well and you're just kind of walloping the competition, and you got these two guys floating around your waiver wire, though Clowney's probably not anymore. Like, if you had Clowney right now, it sounds like you're not dropping him for Kyle Filipowski.
Dude, Clowney's on fire.
Right? Yeah.
I'm a what have you done for me? I'm a what have you done for me lately guy. And Filipowski, I loved him last year, but we've yet to see it happen this year with these other guys, Derek Queen and Clowney. We've seen it. I mean, it's happening. Like Clowney is blowing up right now. Like I want Clowney on all my teams right now. So what have you done for me lately? I feel like Clowney is a sure thing right now, and Filipowski might be good over the final 2 months, but I don't know.
I have, it's all about your competition too. Like I play in a couple easier leagues, and sometimes I'll even like go more public in those leagues and like play guys I wouldn't normally draft because I either like them and I want to take advantage of like what might be a sure thing. I'm constantly trying to, in these expert high stakes leagues where it's like the obvious thing's just not there. You have to take risks on players that don't look great right now. And I feel like that conversation for me is constantly happening is how to get ahead. And if you're in a situation where you've got kind of easy access to Noah Clowney and Kyle Filipowski, you could absolutely just take the Noah Clowney hot spurt, roll with it. Maybe you get something even better rest of season, and then come around and get Kyle in a couple weeks, you know, when it's sitting there and it's nice and available for you. So it's know your competition and who you're playing against, and that will inform your decision. So after those guys, it looks to me like for my list, I would probably have a Dembona 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th on this list. And then I would follow that up with John Collins at 7 and Danny Wolf at 8. How do you see the last part of that list?
I don't know. I just did my top 5 as I was instructed to by our leader.
I don't see top 5 instructions anywhere, but that's fine.
They're not written down. They were vocal, but you probably weren't listening. You probably had.
Now you're just sucking up to Andre. You're just sucking up to Andre on air. That's
I'm intrigued by Danny Wolf. I think Bona needs to be on there just because he could go off the last couple months. Wendell Carter Jr. has been really a solid model citizen this year. Like he gets no love and there's no hype around him. We never talk about him really, but he's been pretty good.
The funny thing is he's not even on the list, but go on. Dude, tell us more.
What list do you have? Like, I don't understand. I'm just looking at the email that was sent to me for this show.
At this point, I honestly wish I was lying so I could just be messing with you, but no, he's not in this list. He's not in this list. This is hilarious. All right, but you get a sense for where John Collins sits. John Collins had a good game the other day, and I think did I tweet this? I can't even remember. It was Chris Paul holding back John Collins. My column was the tweet.
I'm closing my email. I'm not looking at that anymore.
That's okay. That's all right. And Collins though is like if he has a good game and Chris Paul's not there, now I'm like actually laughing at was John Collins just yelling, or probably was Chris Paul just yelling at John Collins the entire time, just making him passive and scared to play the game of basketball or something. I don't know, but if he has another good game, John Collins now gets way more interesting. And I don't know that he would jump up this list, but he because he could be a late round guy super easy. I think that's why I have him at 7. Bona, it's the upside. If you got players that are not really demonstrating right now value, I want the upside. And then Danny Wolf, he's got to actually be good for the long term. He's got a couple ways that can knock him out pretty soon as Michael Porter gets back even. Let's look at the second list here. So we have Tamani Kamara, Andrew Wiggins, Benedict Mathurin, Modest Bacelis, Asar Thompson, Herb Jones, Aaron Neesmith, Santi Aldama, and Kyle Kuzma. So we got some fun names here. Doc, you got that list in front of you?
I do.
Nice. Okay.
I just took a guy off of my list that was not on the list and replaced him with a guy who's actually on the list. So maybe I won't look like a complete idiot for this group. I
would never say that you look like an idiot, sir. I would also say that it's also Andre's fault.
I'm gonna go with Tumani Kamara. That might come as a surprise, but I'm going.
Oh, you're gonna go Kamara?
Over on the top of the list.
Over your guy?
Over my
Bacelis?
Guy. Over my Lord and Savior, Modest Bacelis.
What?
I feel like Kamara's been better.
Okay. I get it. I mean, I get it. But damn.
And I think like Kamara was struggling early in the season, and he's only gonna get better. Like, I just feel like his arrow is pointing straight up. While we're at it, the number 2 guy on my list is Modest Bacelis.
Thank you. I am just. I did not expect this today. I would. What do I got to do? Carry your bags on the Modest Bacelis bandwagon? I got Modest Bacelis number 1.
Is he number 1 on your list?
He's number 1 for me. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, I love Kamara and I had about as an aggressive rank as I think anybody else did for Kamara. It was like no secret that Kamara was somebody we all coveted in fantasy circles, and like the knee thing. And yeah, he's playing better. So that's cool. Like, good on you, Tamani, and keep it up. And I'm excited to see this continue. But Bacelis, even when the going's bad, has been a top 100 guy at worst. He's kind of creeping back in the top 80, top 70 range. And my thought process is he will finish with a top 75 value this season cumulatively, no matter what. And I want to buy low on Modest Bacelis. And I think a la Steve Kerr, a la Eric Spoelstra, a la any other coach that's been in the league for a while that's got standing with their ownership, Modest Bacelis will be good when Billy Donovan's like, yeah, you're good now. I'm going to go with you. And when that happens, probably at worst last third of the season, he's going to be up and over 30 minutes a game. And it's going to be top 50 land for Modest Bacelis.
Well,
I can't believe you, Doc.
Well, the last 4 games, he's been at 30 minutes or 34 or 36 or 33. What's lingering for me is the 4 games before that, when he played 19 minutes, 29 minutes, and 21 minutes. If he's going to play 35 minutes a night, every night, the rest of the way, then he's number 1 on this list for me. If he's going to go through stretches with his friggin' coach where he plays 19 minutes or 20 minutes for a week at a time, then I'm going to be it's going to hurt my heart a little
bit. There's problems.
There's
like serious problems with the play of Modest Bacelis. Like, he's inefficient from a fantasy standpoint currently. But I think he's got all the tools. I think eventually he'll be a good free throw shooter. I think eventually he will be an assist guy. I think eventually he'll be talked about as one of the better defenders in the league. That might not happen this season, but that's a really cool discussion. I like that.
And the thing is, when Bacelis is off, when he doesn't have a great game, it's still a solid fantasy line. And when he has a Bacelis night, then it's off the charts. But you just go down his game log and look at the blocks: 0, 3, 3, 0, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Like, just goes on and on and on. The steals: 1, 2, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Like, he's just getting threes, blocks, and steals like we thought he would. And the other stuff should fall into place, especially if they're going to give him 34 minutes a game like they have been lately.
Yeah, and trying to quickly queue up the blocks per game numbers and see if I can figure out where he slots in. And not there he is right down there. He's at 1.4. So kind of like top 20. I was just curious because I think what happened was Dembona got hit hard in last night's game playing 5 minutes. His per game went way down. But I was looking at the screen last night as I was watching and eating, and fifth on the blocks list is Dembona. And blocks are hard to come by right now in fantasy circles in the NBA. Maybe in the sub 1.8, 1.7 range, you're seeing a lot of players hovering in that area. But if you get somebody who blocks shots, it's a pretty nice thing to have. Maybe the Wemby team runs away with it in your Roto League, but after that, it's kind of a wide open playing field. So blocks, I think, at that level become a premium. All right, so we've got.
By the way, Brew, have you noticed how good San Antonio has been despite not having Castle and Wemby?
I'm telling you, like I thought I have them 6, and I had the Hawks 4 in the preseason power ranks. I don't feel bad about either rank, and I'm waiting for San Antonio to just like challenge OKC and make that way closer than anybody thinks it will be. And we'll have this crazy level discussion about OKC and San Antonio for 5-10 years. It's going to be really, really fun. Number 3 on my list of these players, I'll say their names again. Tamani Kamara and Modest Bacelis are at number 2. And then we're ranking now a group of Andrew Wiggins, Asar Thompson, Herb Jones, Aaron Nesmith, Santi Aldama, and Kyle Kuzma. Doc, who's your 3?
I've got Andrew Wiggins there.
Andrew
Boring,
Wiggins.
Old, not that fun.
Boring ass pick, Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, he is. But I've been enjoying him. And he's probably going to go off tonight with no Tyler Hero there.
Yeah, he's consistent. It is a boring pick, but it might be the right pick here. I'll get spicy. Santi Aldama at 3. This is it's kind of a what have you done lately for me lately kind of a deal. He's been in the top 65 range lately, pretty much maxed out, I would say, for what he's capable of in fantasy leagues. Wiggins, more of a top 80 guy. Some fall off potential for Wiggins every now and then. I mean, it's either, something that's both personal and explainable, taking him out for kind of a season or two, and or sometimes the occasional injury. But if not for those things, and maybe a full house in Miami could be deleterious to his value. Andrew Wiggins, 80 to 100, could slide to 100 to 120 for him fairly quick if it gets to be a packed house. But I like Santi over Wiggins just as a very close fight, very close fight. And we'll see what happens when Ja gets back. It might be a rough couple of weeks for Santi there. Anyway, do you have Santi at 4, Doc?
I do not. I do not have Santi on my list. Maybe I should.
Are you going to take a shot at somebody?
Yeah, I've got Benny Mathurin of your Indiana Pacers.
All right. That's bad news for another buzzy name on this list. But what's up with Benny?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it pulled up Ben Shepherd. It's like Siri's listening to me today and just messing with me. And I'm not even talking to Siri. Now I'm surprised my phone.
You just blame everything on Siri?
You know what? It's easy to do that. It's effective.
Did you know that Siri once followed you on Twitter? The voice of Siri once followed you on
Twitter? The voice of
Twitter?
Siri, yes. Boomer's Gone Wild.
Me too.
The lead singer of Boomer's Gone Wild. Yeah, band.
Well,
Benny's been a little. Nice. Benny's been a little quiet lately. 3 of 9, 22 minutes on Monday. He had 15 points, 7 boards on Wednesday. But before those 2 games, he was playing 35, 38 minutes game after game. And I just feel like the Pacers are like, here you go. Ben, go do whatever you want to do. And the minutes are there. He's scoring a ton of points. He doesn't have a game that's built on fantasy. Like if he doesn't get tons of minutes, the stats that you want aren't going to be there. But if he's getting 37, 38 minutes, he's going to walk into some steals and blocks and threes and whatnot. It's just going to happen. So, yeah, I feel like he's been given the green light by the Pacers.
This is interesting, and I agree with the ranks here. And it's interesting because the next player on the list, if it's Kamara, Vaselis, if they're off the board, Aldama and Wiggins are off the board, and Matherin's 5, the question becomes, where am I going to put Asar Thompson? And I don't know where you're going to put Asar Thompson as well, but
I have Asar Thompson at number 5.
You have 5 and Aldama after Asar. Is that right?
Yeah, Aldama. Yeah, he would be 6. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And I am not in on Asar Thompson right now. I am not there. You're there. What? If I could guess, it's that he's just going to play better, and he's super athletic. They've got a ton invested in him.
We know he can't shoot. We know he's not going to hit threes. He's got the same defensive skills that his brother has. I don't have Asar anywhere, so I don't have the personal connection or the frustration it brings with having him on your roster to really know.
Anybody who drafted him feels that way, yes.
What that's like. So maybe I'm
you're coming into it with a fresh perspective. This is nice.
Yeah, maybe I'm coming in with blinders on and don't know what I'm doing, but I like the idea of Asar Thompson. How about that?
Well, those of us, I have Asar in I think 2 places. Everybody who got Asar had to draft him in the 60s in a competitive situation, 50s sometimes. It's been bad. 11.6 boards, 3 assists, 1.6 steals, 0.7 blocks. Those numbers came up a little bit, the defensive numbers, but the foul shooting, the only silver lining there is he's taking less free throws than he was earlier in the season, 55% from the foul line. But for me, I've been just watching a ton of Detroit basketball, and something's not right there. And my fix, and what might be the thing that makes me wrong on this rank, is if they start him at power forward. I think they can do that. And then I think it just puts him into better areas on the basketball court. Like him against another equivalent power forward, dribbling, like he'll get by them a lot. And he needs to get into his Euro step game and his bully ball game and start getting shots to fall at the rim. I know that might increase his foul shooting. That's not great, but he's got this look on his face where he's like, it's not working right now. And I'm not getting anything done. And he's only playing 28 minutes per game. Numbers even been a little bit down lately. I got to see more from Asar before I'm going to crank him up the ranks. And then Herbert Jones and Aaron Nesmith and Kyle Kuzma are at the bottom of this list. I will put Kyle Kuzma at the bottom of this list on principle. But do you see it that way, Doc? You're not as anti-Kyle Kuzma as I am.
Oh, man, I don't know. Yeah, I put Kuzma on the bottom, Nesmith right before him, and then Herbie Jones.
The Herbie Jones question is lingering. I don't know. I think most leagues, Herbie's on the waiver wire.
Kind of should be.
Yeah, he's been bad. And hopefully the time off will get him right. Aaron Nesmith, always just hanging out, waiting to get back into fantasy leagues and start kind of chopping away with top 75 value. And it happens quick. And I believe in the player. He's just got to get back on the floor. I would have him at 6, third to last. Yeah. And then I would go Herbert and Kyle at the ends of my list. And I would also, if I was a listener, I would also go get a free app to keep up with all the latest NBA, NFL, and MLB news and use these NBA tools to help win your fantasy leagues. The links are in the show notes. And check out sportsethos.com as I kind of deadpan that a little bit. And consider a membership. You get the B150 projections, the tools. That alone should carry you through your fantasy leagues. In addition, you get articles that are super value add. It's not the kind of stuff you see on social media where there's not enough space or time, or you got to sift through all the different notes to try to get to the answers. This stuff is like, I like to call it pristine value extract. It's like what you need to know in the least amount of words. The cheat sheet specifically does that for you before the games. Check that out today. It's the best stuff you're going to see in fantasy writing these days. That'll do it for today's show. Thank you, Andre, for putting up with us once again. Doc, great show. Our content team is cooking: Mike Passador, Keston Paul, Mark Camaro, Tim Woodson, William Harris. Our tech team, everybody is hitting on all cylinders. Everybody's happy and having fun. We love it here at Sports Ethos. For Steve, for Andre, and for all of us here, enjoy your Friday night, all 12 games. This has been Fantasy NBA Today, presented by FanDuel.